We're live. Rafał, welcome. First of all, thank you very much for accepting invitation, and it's really an honor to have you as a guest on our interview, as on our webcast, to share your knowledge with our attendees. And actually, before we go into details of project management, project governance, and the rest of the things, please tell us how come that you become Rafał Greupner that you are today. So what was your career path, so that our listeners can get to know you better.
I understand. Thanks. First of all, thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to answer your questions and answer the questions that our visitors will have. It's a good one at the beginning. So how I became myself, yeah?
Exactly.
Can summarize the question like that. Well, you will need to ask my parents and my wife. but if you're asking about my career path, it's a long story. We have some limitation in the time, but long story short, I would say around 12, 13 years ago, I started my journey in a project management in one of the corporations, and I joined the transition team. And my company sent me to Lillehammer in the winter. So that was a pretty amazing experience, you know. Snow, 2 meters of snow, and 3 months in the North Norway. But after that, I started to interest in the project management. I said, okay, so the transition manager that was leading this project, I thought that he's an amazing guy, you know. He got the amazing job and leading a team, flying around the world. I want to become someone like him. I started to interest a bit in this matter, and I go to some postgraduate studies. There are several like that on the market, so I choose the best one I thought. And after the studies, I knew that I want to become a project manager. That was the only thing I remember from the studies. That this information in my head. What else?
What was the main motivation in? So you wanted to become as your first role model, let's say. But what was this real motivation? Internal one.
Yeah, the internal one, I love to travel, and the internal motivation was, whoa, as a project manager, I can really work in several countries in different time zones and meet different people. I love to meet people and have a new relationship with the people. So that was my internal motivation. The first thing I thought. And that thing in my head started to drive me through the several years. So I was starting as some transformation manager, where I implemented some of the improvement initiatives on the service management and service desks in previous corporation. After that, I became a program manager for the global transformation in this company. I was traveling even more often, leading the team in 5 or 6 countries, including India and Asia. So I was traveling whole time for a few years. It was amazing time in my life, and I knew that I want to become a better project manager, and I started to see that I need to become a better leader. So I connected those two dots to drive the team to deliver better projects and better results with better quality. So after several years, I changed the engagement several times. I was working for the automotive companies in Germany, in Czech Republic. Most of you are driving those cars for sure. And I was working for the banks in the Nordics. My story is quite long, but every of the projects I was participating as a project member or as a project lead, project manager, I was trying to learn something new, and even if something failed, I tried to get some positive thing from it, some lessons learned, and the person I am right now, where I stand right now, is basically a summary of all those experiences I have in the past, all those failures and the successes.
Yeah, they often say we are the sum of a people that we met, and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
you met a lot of people, definitely, thousands probably until this moment.
Yeah. For
Tell
sure,
me,
for sure. So
yeah, go ahead.
no. Please go ahead.
So fast forward to now, I know that you are a program manager and you are also a managing director of PMI branch in Silesia region in Poland. So as a managing director of PMI Silesia region, what you're doing, what are your main goals, your main motivation and vision, let's say, for a PMI branch?
So, as a PMI, as an organization, our goal, our vision is to introduce and extend the best practices of the project management to all the project managers or the people that want to become a project managers in the future. So. My personal interest is to build a platform, a cooperation platform for the experienced managers and for the new joiners in this industry, so they can experience themselves. They can talk to each other. They can learn from each other, and they can learn from the mentors that we are giving them and the materials we are providing to them as a webinars or seminars or conferences that we are organizing. So this is our vision, to show the people what is the good project management, what are the best practices, how to do it, how to do it wisely, and how to do it with a good quality. And there is a methodology, PMI methodology, of course, behind it that we are promoting. We are not only focusing on talking with the experienced project managers. I know that you personally like to speak with the new joiners, with the people who want to become a project managers, and this is our target audience as well. And for me, I go even one step further, and we are working closely with the Economical University in Katowice, with Academia WBS in Sosnowiec. We are teaching the people, the students in those organizations, how to manage the projects and what is the project, because quite often it's a problematic to understand. You are listening right now in the TV. Every celebrity is doing some project. Project is a new single. Project is a new TV show. Everything is project.
Good comparison.
Exactly. So we are trying to elaborate a little bit more, explain what we are doing and how to become a project manager. So it's a pretty in line with your course and with your target as well.
Yes. So I adore project management as an area because it teaches you both hard and soft skills that you can use in life. And one of the first goals that we want to achieve is to explain all of these different hard concepts that are not understandable at the first sight, what they are in reality, that maybe you are already doing this into your daily life. So this is a perfect segue into to the question: are those skills that PMI is teaching, that project management consists of, transferable from one role to another, from one company to another, from one country to another? What's your, especially as you travel so far and broad, what's your experience?
I would say the answer is simple, is yes. But to elaborate a little bit more, I personally think that a good project manager, that by good I don't mean that with the specific certificate, with the paper, but with the experience and with the proper methodology and several achieved success projects. A good project manager can be transferable between the industries. So you can be a IT project manager, you can be transition manager, you can be transformation manager. Of course, for each of these elements, there are some specific methods and the tools, but the baseline is similar for them, and this is this is what we are trying to show in the PMI. With the method we are proposing, but answering your second part of your question, if this is transferable between the companies, of course, I had this pleasure to this pleasure to lead the PMI Silesia, and this is new experience for me, because I'm a managing director since last December 2019. So I just joined this organization before the COVID. Perfect timing, I would say. But whole experience I have in the past is enabling me to drive this organization, drive this as a project. So we also got the strategic goals, we got the long-term, short-term objectives, we got the tasks, we got the team, split of responsibilities. Everything what I learned as a project manager, I was able to apply it in this organization. And same in my work experience. Last year also in June, I changed the companies. After several years in the previous organization, I changed it to the new one, where I'm working as a program manager and the lead of the project managers. And I believe my knowledge was really transferable. All the experience I get in the previous industries, I was able to apply in the new company, and I was applying it also on my personal life. So I was planning some long holidays, like West Coast trip in US, with a car, with the friends, 6,000 kilometers. So I built a Gantt chart, with the task list and the responsibilities, and the budget. So we manage it well. We have a journey of our lives, but it was a pure project management.
Absolutely. I mean, when we were preparing our talk, actually, I mentioned the example of our already famous example of making a homemade bread. Creating work with structure and the schedule for to create a homemade bread.
Yeah, exactly.
So we already partially answered, but maybe it's important to address it specifically as a question. Take into account what we said about values of project management skills. If someone is even not a project manager and wants to advance in a career, is it useful even to get some courses of a project management, to get to know how to organize and how to lead a team and how to organize the work? So even if someone is not going to that project management path, do you find it's beneficial simply to do this small digression to the project management, then to return back?
I believe so. It's a cross industrial knowledge, basically. Right now, the word is some people think it's a buzzword, VUCA word. The world is going really fast. The economy is quite fast as well, and we are trying to manage unmanageable things. Someone would say. In my opinion, a project thinking can be applied in every company. So it doesn't matter if you are selling drugs or medicines. Sorry, not the drugs. or selling a cars, or working in the government, or in the private software house, whatever. Every company and every industry is moving towards the project organization. So organizations see that the project-based organization is more efficient, is doing better quality deliverables, better products, saving more money, and can get more, I would say, even revenue from the same resources they have right now, just by applying the project management methodologies. So yes, answering your question, the project management course is good for everyone.
It seems to me that organizations now need to move quickly, right? So when there is a goal, there is a topic to address. We need to take SMEs from different areas to organize as a team, deliver that result, and then go back to other project or their own organization, right?
Exactly.
It makes sense. Now, speaking about that, those skills are necessary in many areas. We also get a often question, well, will that approach be replaced by artificial intelligence? Will AI take over the project management and work organization? And what's your take there?
It's a good question, and the answer might be tricky, because some of the elements might be replaced by the AI, like a simple tracking, of the tasks completion, simple reporting, this kind of stuff. But we need to remember that the project management is not unchecking or ticking in the box in the Excel if the task is completed or not. Exactly. It's just a baby step, in the whole project management process. So my personal opinion is that world, I'm not afraid to say that, but world will need and will require project managers, but the role will evaluate. So it won't be a project manager as we see right now, or as we saw a few years ago. It will become more like a product manager, because we are going towards the more flexible, agile methods that are delivering faster new products or functionalities. So we will go from the project management to product management, but still the basic skills, the soft skills, will be required, and it's not replaceable by any AI.
Let's be nerds a little bit, and
So,
for example, imagine that we have a task in a Marvel world to save the world. So is Tony Stark as Iron Man a project manager, and then Jarvis is actually AI helping there, right? So they cannot work without each other, right?
Correct. Exactly. I love Marvel movies, so Tony Stark is a perfect example. But he's a well organized project manager, not because he can plan the task, but he can quickly adapt to the new situations. He can quickly establish a new relationship with the people, with his enemies, with everyone, and he got Jarvis to support. And the same happens right now in our world. We are project managers. We are supported by, I don't know, ServiceNow tools or any other cloud-based sophisticated solutions. But we are still project managers, and we are doing the core work. This is just something to support us to do our work better. But just that.
I always say I'm actually very optimistic and happy that we are getting these automation and robotics that will help to project managers, and then you'll have simply more time to think, right? To think about things that matter, right?
Exactly. This is what you touch very, very good point. We will have a time to think and to manage. We will not focus on working on repetitive actions, but we will be able to talk with the people and to lead our teams to drive this towards the common goal. And this is the same as like with Tony Stark. So
that's how we like to think about ourselves, right? Like as a Tony Starks of the world. That's very
we are saving
humble.
the world every time.
Exactly. Now, actually, we mentioned already several times management and control, and actually, let's start with the main topic of our
Sure.
webcast, and that is actually how to organize, how to create these fundamentals that are necessary, and that is the project governance. And we said at the beginning that we want to explain these tough words like project governance. So what the project governance is, Rafał, first of all?
So not only for me, but my definition, from my experience and from the books I read in the past. Let's start. Let's move a step back. Quite often people are mixing the governance with the management, and this is two different topics. And to properly and easily manage the project, we need to put some effort at the very beginning before the project starts and set the governance. And for the governance is so simple that we forgot about it. Most of the people are forgetting about it. What's that? It's basically building a baseline for our project, setting the rules, the environment in which the project organization will be driven. So if you want to build a house, first you need to put a proper basement and concrete solution at the very bottom, and this is the governance for our project. So we set the rules, how we want to cooperate with the people, how we want to do every aspect of the project. So then, when we will start the project, we will be easily managing it through the project lifetime until the successful end.
Can we say that if a project is a country, that project governance is the constitution and the laws?
Perfect. Yeah, perfect example. Exactly. A constitution and the laws. Yeah.
Yes. And then how we implement those is what project management is, right?
Yes.
So there is this difference. Sometimes, for me personally, this was kind of two merged things. So I could not imagine even starting a project without these rules, without these important elements, and then actually drive it forward. But it makes sense to point out importance of, first of all, organizing these documentations and the rules of engagement, let's say, right?
Yeah. It's not only to think about it, but it's very important to write it down and to have a common understanding in the project organization, starting from the top, from your sponsors or the board organization, up to the very bottom, and the people that will deliver some elements of the project. So this is our first step. To build the governance, to set the rules, to communicate it well, and to ask for confirmation if this is understandable. If this is understandable, then we are able to start driving the project, and we can follow the rules that we agreed.
Excellent. And now we would go into concretes of project governance. Yeah. But before we go, actually, I just wanted to say to everyone, don't forget to ask questions. And then Sabina asked one. So excellent, Sabina. well done. So please do ask questions as we go. We'll try to answer immediately. And one of the things that we would definitely mention, we already planned it, but Sabina is asking, does governance include also internal and external communication plan? And actually, that was exactly the second topic that we wanted to cover. So,
Exactly.
Sabina, allow us to go one step back, and then we will go directly to that. No, there is no need to say you are sorry. You are excellent and on spot. So very
No,
good
exactly.
question. So thank you guys for being active, and please do ask questions. So Rafał, when we start now, we have, let's say, blank sheet. We are starting a project. We are assigned to a new project in a new company, and you have no idea with whom you work. And then you probably start with something that is called a stakeholder map. So what a stakeholder map is, what does it mean to you, how it helps you?
So it's a first step, exactly. Without it, you cannot move forward. So let's say you are in the corporation, your boss is coming to you and saying, "Okay, Marco, you got a great project in front of you. You will be able to show the whole company how brilliant project manager you are. Go ahead." And you are sitting and, what the fuck? What should I do right now?
That's very real life example.
Exactly. So basically, the first baby step is to build the stakeholders map. It's just a list of all the people and the roles that will be involved in your project, and it's not a closed list. So we need to specify it at the beginning. So this will evolve in the time. So at the beginning, you know that you got some, I don't know, bid manager, you got a sponsor of the project, you got some architect that will build a solution, brilliant solution for you, some engineer or developer that will deliver it, and you are just listing up those roles, those people. At some point, you will notice that some new people, new stakeholders are coming into the project organization, and you are adjusting the list. But why you are doing it? Having a list of all the stakeholders, so all the people in the organization that you are influencing somehow by the project, or they can influence you as a project manager, is helping you to organize not only you, but also to communicate to them, to get their requirements, and to inform them about the progress. The simplest example of stakeholder is, of course, our sponsor. Is someone in the company that is giving you the money to drive the project. As a sponsor, he got some requirements. So you need to double check what is his requirement. If he wants to be informed on the daily basis, on the weekly basis, on the monthly basis about the progress. What kind of progress? If he's just interested about the money, or he's interested about the progress of the development. So this kind of information you are putting into your stakeholders map, and the simplest way to do it is to highlight if the stakeholder how big influence he or she have to your project, and how big is the interest of this person to the project, and then you can create a simple heat map. And everything will be high interest and the high influence, that will be a red, and you need to know, and you will know automatically that you need to be careful. You need to treat them like a baby, and you need to and you need to really listen to them and answer to them whatever they require. Everyone who is somewhere in the middle not require different attention, and the people that are very on the bottom, I would say the green part of this heat map, they have, for example, a great interest in the project, but no influence at all. So they just want to know, because they want to be informed, and you are informing them that, yeah, we are doing this project, and everything is okay, and they are fine with it. They just want to be informed, and so as you can see, the stakeholder map and the heat map that we can build based on it is automatically transferred to the communication plan. And this is, I believe, the answer to the question from Sabina.
Yeah. So we'll be just going directly to that part now. And so can we say that if you are a mayor of a city, your stakeholder map is a phone book, and then when there is new people coming into neighborhood, you're just adding another phone numbers, right? So it's not closed area.
Exactly.
And then if you want to reconstruct a street, those who are impacted the most are simply people who are living there, so they are very interested and very impacted, right? And then people in another part of the city are not interested and impacted at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for another project, actually, those people who are not interested and involved at all maybe can turn into those who are the most interested when actually their street is getting rebuilt, right?
Yeah. Or they can be, interested if you success in the project, because then they will know, okay, I will have a trouble next week because those bastards will go to my street and will decompose everything, and they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. And now we have a list of stakeholders. Now we need to know how to communicate with them, and very naturally we move to this communication plan. So how do you create communication plan that Sabina already mentioned? So how you move from a stakeholder map, from a list to the actual communication plan?
So basically, Sabina asked a good question. If it includes internal and external, that depends on the project. Yeah, we can have an internal project for the organization, or we can have an external for the external customers of the organization. At least in my industry, in the IT industry. But how we move from the stakeholders map to the communication plan? Very simple. So knowing who is your stakeholder and how you affect them, or they are affecting you, you can build a list of the communicates, of the reporting needs that will be during the project lifetime, and based on the discussions with those stakeholders, exchanging the information, you will be able to highlight if for example, if you got a sponsor that requires attention and he's interested on the weekly basis, the first point in your communication plan will be to have a weekly meetings with the sponsor, and what will be the content. So that's the next step in the communication plan. Okay, so we got a weekly meeting. Who will attend? There will be my sponsor, and there will be me, and maybe some director of the line of business. What will be the agenda? That's the next point in the communication plan. Who will drive it? If it's a project manager, or maybe it's someone else, depending on the level of the details. What is the type of the meeting? If it's a face-to-face, because customer is requiring. We got this sometimes in the bank industries or in the automotive, or that the leadership in those companies require you to travel and to meet with them face to face. Sometimes it can be just an email, sometimes a phone call. So building one by one a list of communication types and elements. You are building your communication plan and strategy. So knowing who is your stakeholder, if it's internal in the company or external, is moving towards what type of the communications you need. Sometimes in the projects that are very crucial for the company, you need to also inform your shareholders or the market what you are doing. If you are merging the two companies, you can have a merge project. You need to inform the market, the shareholders, and the people on the market. What is the progression? If it's affecting somehow the company or not? So this is based on everything on the stakeholder map and the map of the interests.
It seems to me, and it seems from all of my experience and generally when I'm listening to you, as a very crucial area. So what happens?
It is.
What happens if you don't do it correctly? What happens if you if you miss people in the stakeholder map, if you not communicate as agreed?
So the easiest thing that may happen, is that you miss your sponsors or the board of directors who are deciding on your budget, and not knowing what
Not
you
so
are doing,
good.
they will not so good, exactly, and that they will just not accept your spendings, imagine the situation that you are not reporting, you don't have a communication plan. So that leads you that you are not communicating anything from the project. You are working hard. You got some deliverables, and at the end of the month, you are calling your sponsor and saying, "Okay, there is an invoice for 1 million euros, and can you approve it?" And he said, "Come on, but I don't know anything about the project. Why you spend 1 million? I don't agree on 1 million. I disagree." And you get a big problem right now. And this is just the simplest example. If you are not communicating well, if you get a complex engagement that is involving internal and external teams on your company and on external teams like third-party suppliers, you can have problems in the delivery time. I got a history like that. I was delivering a complex project to the company that is building and managing the oil platforms. Drilling platforms
Oil rigs,
on the oil rigs, exactly, and the oil and the drilling ships. And we were upgrading and transforming all the IT on the rigs.
All right.
There were 42 rigs somewhere in the middle of the ocean around the world. And the first key element was build a proper communication plan. And the communication plan was with the company that was providing the satellite internet connectivity, with the company that was shipping our hardware to the harbor, to communication with the captain on the rig, because he needed to know where he can see the equipment on the rig, and where he needs to involve his people. Busy life on the rig, so it's not that the people are waiting for us. They got plenty of work. We needed to have a communication plan with the agency that have helicopters to travel from the harbor with the equipment to the rig. So without the communication plan and following of it, that will be a big disaster. So the technical complexity of the project was really low, but the communication and coordination of all those third-party companies and speaking with them, that was a big challenge. And without the proper communication strategy and knowing the needs of the single stakeholder, that would be a disaster.
We have that's excellent example to comprehend the complexity of certain communication plans. And one thing that may help is this so-called RACI matrix, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of the basic elements of good governance. And how could you explain what RACI matrix is to someone who is new in a project management, and how to move from stakeholder map and communication plan to something that is clearly easy to read and to make a quick decision in a RACI matrix? How to
in the RACI matrix?
Yes.
Well, this is So we got the step 1, stakeholders. Step 2 is communication. So naturally, step 3, like baby steps, is a RACI matrix or RACI model, depending how we call it. So for those who are new in this area, RACI means that you got responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. And those are four key elements in the RACI matrix or RACI model. This is the very, very simple but excellent tool for the project manager to clarify who is doing what and when, basically. So we define at the very, very beginning the stakeholders, and that will be our columns, the roles or the stakeholders. Doesn't matter if it's a very complex or very simple project. And as a rows in the table, we can specify the task, the activities. If that will be a approval of the cost model, or approval of the invoice, or approval of the project gate, or execution of some particular task from the project plan, from the WBS. So we got a list of the activities. We got the people that are involved in our project somehow, and we are highlighting based on our best practices and the discussions with them and the background from the organization, if such person is accountable. So he's taking the full accountability of doing this task. That doesn't mean that he needs to do it himself, but if the task will fail, his head will be cut. So
figuratively.
Yeah, exactly. He can highlight, he can point some person that is responsible. So this is the second role. We got the person responsible, and this is the person that is doing this task by his hands. So basically like that. Consultant, then that means that this role or person doesn't need to perform this activity or won't be accountable, but he's a SME, for example, in some area, in the finances or some architecture technical, and to have a better outcome of the task, it's good to ask him for a validation, to consult basically, and inform. Most of the times is a board of our project where they need to be informed about some elements of the projects.
Let me try to map this into our mayor and the street reconstruction example, and please do correct me if I'm wrong. So
yeah.
we have a mayor that wants to reconstruct a street in a city. So he's accountable for that.
He's
right?
accountable.
He's accountable for that. So his position is not good standing if there are problems.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So then we have, let's say, a project manager who is leading a project in the street. So he is responsible to do that, right? Isn't he?
Yes. Yes. Also yes.
Yeah. Then we can drill down this whole matrix to the actually street implementation, but on a top level. And then we have consulted. We need to consult people who are living there, right? How they want to do things, and can we do it in a this manner, right? So they have to be consulted.
Exactly. You need to consult also with the government if you can do it this way or that way.
Exactly. And then people on the other streets that we mentioned, that they're very interested how other reconstructions are going. They want to be informed, right? Yes.
Exactly. I will give you an example from province, from Warsaw. So I'm living in Mokotów, and nothing is happening here. No construction. But if the government and the current president of Warsaw will decide to build a new bridge or reconstruct the existing one, I want to be informed, because the reconstruction of the bridge that is, I don't know, 10 kilometers from me, that will trigger a big traffic that will finish next to my house. So I would love to be informed upfront.
Exactly. And actually these examples go one by another in our daily life, actually.
Yeah.
Right. So this
exactly.
is just to help to our listeners to understand actually what are those are not complex concepts. We just need to give a real life examples so that actually it's understood, right? So and then we move. actually not then, but maybe before all these steps, we want to understand actually why this project is there, right? So what we want to do, what our project is, what are the project goals. So how intensively you concentrate on the direction and the clarity about outcome when project starts, how detailed you are when you want to understand what we want to get out of this project.
So for me as a project manager that needs to deliver something, I need to understand and clarify at the very beginning what is our scope of work. It's not only for my mental health, because I will feel better when I will understand what I'm doing, but it's also quite often because of the contracts we have. So a project manager need to understand what are the contractual obligations, contractual points that needs to be delivered and when. So this is the first step. Quite often it happens that you just need to have a very generic idea what will be delivered. So a real life example: you are project manager for building a home. You got a customer. They ask you to manage the new house build. So for you, you need to specify what's the house. Okay, so it should be a basement and the ground floor, or basement, ground floor, and the first floor. What would be the color of the house? If for them building a house means just a house, or with all the installations inside, so electricity, pipes, or maybe with the furniture and putting a nice frame on the wall with the family picture. So you need to specify the scope of the work at the very beginning. That will really make your life easier. And what is in our industry even more important is to specify what is out of scope. Because when you clarify with your customer what is out of scope, that will give you also a better place for the negotiations, because customers always try to put something additional to the scope of the project, because it's always it's just simple functionality. You can do it in one day. And they have
Exactly.
this idea, and they have
We
this
hear that all
idea
the time.
every week. And that will save your save your nerves, but also they will give you a very good position in the negotiations, because you can as a project manager, you will see that you are still in the budget, or if you can do it or not. If not, well, you can negotiate a change to the project with the additional sales. So that might trigger additional business for you. Doesn't matter if you are building a house, a car, or a IT program.
Exactly. And then, so we covered important concepts of stakeholder map, communication plan, RACI model, and then project goals. And then one of the things that are mandatory is RAID log. So often asked what the RAID log is. So how do you explain this to someone who is new, and what in an area of a project management, and what are these RAD and ID, right? and why this is important?
Yeah. So it's a very basic tool. I believe it's the most simple tool that project manager is using, because you can do it on the piece of paper. Having a sheet of paper and the pencil, you can have a RAID log. You don't need to have any sophisticated web cloud tool. What is it? It's a simple log. So the place where you will
List.
store information, list, exactly, thank you. And right, what does it mean? R mean risk, A mean assumptions. So what once again risk. What is the risk in the project? This is the open list. It's evolving. You can open the new risk, close the risk while driving the project. About the risk, we can talk about for the next hour. So I will move forward to the assumptions.
At least.
The A means assumptions. So what are the assumptions taken during the delivery of the project that will be required for you during the handover to operations, to the business when you will give them the project. So what were the assumptions when you built something? You said, okay, in the real life example, assumption, I need 2 meter concrete in my basement because I assume that there are some groundwaters quite high, and we need to have a really strong basement. That was my assumption, and that will explain to your sponsor, so your wife, why you spend such a big amount of money on the concrete instead of giving her a pool in the garden.
But what you're doing with assumptions, do you actually build and spend money or immediately, or these assumptions are actually sources of further discussion?
That might be a discussion for the further discussion. Yeah.
Exactly. So now we have risks, assumptions, and then we have I.
So issues. So every risk, every risk might occur. If it's not well managed and you don't mitigate this risk, it will finally occur, and this is the issue. The issue is something that is right now affecting your project. It might affect your timeline, your budget, or the quality. There is always the same triangle, and you need to manage. So managing the issue means that who will be the owner of solving the issue? What will be the plan for solution, for closing the issue? If for example, building a house. When you will I don't know, build a house, you will dig the big hole for the basement, and the risk was that there is underground water, but you didn't manage it well, you didn't check it, and you have right now big hole full of water. So you need to manage the issue somehow. It's already an issue because it's blocking you for building your house. So what you are looking for a geologist and some team that will basically pump up the water and build a better walls, something like that. So managing the issue is once again one more hour discussion. So the final one is E. D. Yeah, D. Sorry, I didn't mean that. D
right.
is sorry.
No,
right.
I haven't said that. Probably it might.
Yeah, no, it's my network connection. So it's dependencies.
Exactly.
In some companies they said it's decisions, but when we are reading the book, and in the book it's dependencies. Basically, dependencies is you are listing up all the dependencies in your that your project have. If you need to build your house and you want to let's say you are building the house once again, what you are dependent on. You are dependent on receiving a permission from the government. Yeah, it doesn't matter that you have a nice area somewhere in the mountains and you want to build a house. No, you need to go to the government. You need to ask them for the permission. This is your dependency. If they will not give you the permission, you are screwed. Yeah, you can have some sofa bed and just lie down on the field, nothing else. So this is a big dependency. Same with the companies. Okay, I need to finish the house before the winter. You are dependent on the availability of the people who will give you a heating or the pipes in the house. Same like with risk, like with issues, you need to manage the dependencies. You need to see if they are influencing you somehow on the project, if they are triggering some risk or issues, or you just need to be aware about something.
Yes. We have a question from
Yes.
Farouk saying that is the scope different to assumptions? Actually, this is a little bit different concepts. So let's say that your scope of work is I will give you a context and then you try to explain. So we are building this again, returning to our street reconstruction, right? And our scope is to change asphalt, right? And we assume that water pipes are 1 meter below the ground surface, right? So we assume that we can dig 1 meter deep. So how this assumption influence our scope of work? So if we say we will reconstruct the street, and then our assumption is that we can dig 1 meter, but actually its assumption can be half of meter below the surface water pipes, and it can be a meter and a half. So how we should actually check, what activities should we do to make sure that our assumption is correct?
Well, when you are doing the assumptions, they need to be based on some evidence. It's not like okay, I think it's 1 meter or 1.5 meters because I think so. It can be based on your experience. Let's say that the rule in Poland to put a pipe under the ground is 1.5 meters. So your assumption is that every company that is putting a pipes in the Poland is doing it in 1.5 meter below the ground. This is your assumption based on some law, on your experience and the evidence that you have in the past.
Exactly.
And
so
how that can influence? Well, if the company was not following the rules, the pipe will be not 1.5 meter below, but half meter below, and you will have an issue.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's imagine that you don't know, that you don't have this information, the concrete information that you mentioned. So how it can influence your scope in such a way that you can say, I need to call my local representative, my local government, city government, let's say, so to check it. I need to check this with the architects of the city architects. So it can bring additional activities to your scope of work. So you assume that something is correct based on your knowledge, but then probably you need to check and clarify with some of your stakeholders.
Of course.
Right. Then, so we set up pretty clear rules, but we want to know where we go, right? So project governance is, as we mentioned, constitution and the laws of a project management, but we want to know where those laws lead us, right? And now we reach something that's called success criteria. So when we know when we are doing the right work and when we are ending the project. So what's your explanation to someone who is new in the area, what the project success criteria are and how they benefit us as a project managers?
Okay, so I will not use the example of the changing the street, but building the house once again. So imagine you're a painter, and the customer is saying, okay, I got a brand new house, it's brilliant, and please paint all the walls inside your house. So the task for the project is paint all the walls. As simple as that. What will be the scope? All the walls at my home. Yeah, scope is as simple as that. And with this knowledge, yeah, you can buy any paint and start painting. And after a week or two, you will say to your customer, okay, here you go. It's a brand new pink wall. Congratulations, job done. And the customer will say, fuck you, I don't like pink. It's supposed to be green. It's supposed to be green because green is my favorite color. So you completed the task and objective, but you didn't complete the project. It's totally not accepted by the customer, and you need to go once again to the shop, buy not only the green paint, but also some white as a base to cover the pink because it's hard to cover it, and basically you need to repeat all the activities. The project will take twice the time that you need and twice the budget. So it's a disaster.
Exactly.
Success criteria for us is just to ask your customer, the person that will receive the product from you, when you will say that the task is completed. What is for you a finished work? If it's green
Yes.
or yellow or red, what does it mean for you? And this is the task is always so simple. Doesn't matter if the project is painting the wall or it's a sophisticated security solution that I'm, for example, doing now. I'm asking the same question to the people on every level of the organization. Okay, so what is the success criteria? Is it all the servers in the company or just one specific server, 90%, 70%? You decide. I will deliver it. You decide. When you will decide that it's this and this, we'll do it. Because project manager is doing what is asked for.
You gave an excellent example with the painting of walls, and I think it can go directly as an answer to Farouk's question. So Farouk asked, how do you plan for such assumptions? Clearly, these can take the project way out of scope of remit, budget, finance time, and so on. Exactly. So going back to your example of painting, so you assumed that a customer wants pink wall.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't ask for success criteria. You didn't ask what this wall, of what color this wall has to be. So you assumed it's very wide assumption, and then it impacted at least double your project time. So time
Exactly.
delivery, project, everything, customer satisfaction, everything is of here. And then we have a second question from Sabina. Does monitoring and evaluation tools should be defined in the governance phase?
Yes, indeed. Very good question, Sabina. So, from my experience, we always ask at the beginning during the governance phase. Governance is basically not the phase. It's a part of the initiation of the project, definition of the project. So by describing the governance, we are also describing how we will be assessed. Someone told me a few years ago that and it's a brilliant thing. I would say that you always need to ask what is good for you. So for example, I was asking my customers before I start the project, what would be the success criteria, and that's a very hard, tangible thing. Then the second question was what elements of the project will be important for you, and they were telling me different stories. So for example, one was for me it's important that I will be informed very well, that we'll have a good collaboration, good communication, or you will have a great communication with my team, or the project will go smooth without disturbing my business. That were the success criteria and evaluation elements for this particular customers. And I said, okay, so on the scale 1 to 5, for example, when 1 is you screw it up, Rafał, and 5 is excellent work. If you are not contractor, I will hire you. And this scale 1 to 5, what I need to do to get a 5? And that was there was a various different answers from different customers. or different people in the company. Because for one person, an excellent job is to have a smooth delivery, and for someone else it was smooth delivery. It was just an average number 3. To have a 5, you need to have a I don't know God what. So the evaluation tools that should be defined at the very beginning, and it's just part of project manager work. So we said at the beginning that you need to speak with the people, that it won't be replaced by the AI, but by Jarvis. And this is the important part of our work, talking with our customers, with our sponsors, with all the stakeholders, and ask them just, okay, so what would be the good job for you?
Exactly. We are still talking all the time about project governance, so setting up the rules before even project execution starts. And one statement from Faruk was, so I guess it was defined for assumptions. So this needs to be defined clearly before and documented. Exactly. So you need to define all of these things before you start, because the sooner you define success criteria, the sooner you define assumptions, communication plan, the smoother your execution will be, right?
Exactly. You will have less of headaches. Basically.
Exactly. And you would actually manage better and speak better with your project sponsor, isn't it? Who the project sponsor is, Rafał, in this context. And we have one questions regarding those. So who those people are, why they are important for us when we are starting, and inside the area of project governance, and then further.
It's a question like a conspiracy theory. Who are those people?
Who are those people?
Those people.
Exactly.
You know them. They rule the world. But it's a part of the project conspiracy theory. The sponsor as a person or sponsor as a team, depending on you can have a sponsor in the project, but in the big transformation program, you can have a sponsoring group, or sponsoring group. Basically, those are the people who are approving your expenses, who are giving the money to the company to drive this project. So they have a final word. If that wall should be pink or that wall should be green. This is the role of a sponsor, and they can say, if it won't be green, I will not pay you, or we are stopping the whole project because I don't like it.
They seem pretty important stakeholder, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. The most important stakeholder. And if you are drawing an organization chart, sponsor is above your governance board. So governance board is basically all the important stakeholders that are decision makers. So most common approach is to have a project board that will regularly meet and decide about some elements, how the project will move this way or this way. And the sponsor is the person above them who is giving the money for the whole game.
And we have a question regarding project sponsor, and it's from Sabina saying, in case a sponsor proposes a significant change to the project, what would be better to do, negotiation or not accepting any suggestion?
It's a tricky question, There is no straight answer for that. It's like lawyers said, it depends. It depends. Basically, if the sponsor is part of the project organization from the very beginning. So the scope of work and out of scope, you are deciding with the project board and the sponsor. If in the governance, you are also deciding, you are creating the rules, how you will manage the change in the project. So if you will decide that the changes in the scope that will affect, I don't know, up to 100,000 euros. You as a project manager can cover it, and you can extend the project budget by this 100,000 euros. It's fine, then okay. But you can set at the beginning the rule that everything above 100,000 euros will go to the project board or to the sponsor. So then you have a situation where the sponsor is coming to you and is asking, okay, change this basic functionality, or I want you to redecorate my whole house because I don't like this color. And you said, okay, it's under my scope of my accountability because of the agreements we have at the beginning. I'm fine with it because I see that I still got some budget and timeline. But if the question from the sponsor, the request is above your accountability and is above the rules that you set at the beginning, then it's not a problem. But you set the rule that you need to raise the change to the contract or whatever, and so you're raising it. You are saying that okay, we can do it. We got the people, best SMEs in the country. They can paint every color you want, and that will cost you this and this and this. You got a sponsor, you got the project board approval, you are painting everything.
And that is very important to understand that when such a change is requested, it is almost a sub-project. So you do the same things that you've done for your project, but also for the change. So you understand what is the scope, what are the success criteria for the change, what is a cost, what is a time frame. So you're actually approaching to such a request as a almost individual project, isn't it?
Correct. Sometimes the change might be really, really small, that you can just put it into your routine work in the project. But sometimes what sponsors think is a minor change, it might be a huge impact to the whole functionality or the architecture of the solution. And that's why in the governance you need to predict it, such situations, and put the proper change control to the project.
And good comment from Faruk. Project within the project, depending on the magnitude, I guess. Exactly. So sometimes you specify if it's up to 20%, for example, of the overall budget, you can deliver it inside the same project. If it goes beyond that, it's probably separate thing, right?
Yeah. The 20% it's most common, but like I said, it all depends on the rules you set at the very beginning.
Exactly. So how you do that, right? So your communication plan also needs to specify this change management part, right?
Correct. Everything what we just said in last half hour, I would say. So about the risk, about the issues, dependencies. This is the part of the communication plan as well. So in the communication strategy,
Rafał, I think that we lost you for the last 10 seconds. So we heard everything that we said. We hear you now. So just we heard you everything we said in the last 30 minutes, and then you chopped out. So if you can just repeat, please.
Last 30 minutes, yeah? Oh my goodness.
No, you just said everything. You just said everything that we said in the last 30 minutes, and then we didn't hear.
Okay, so I said that everything what we said in the last 30 minutes. So risk management, issue management, dependencies, change management. This is every piece of that will be described in the communication plan and communication strategy. So in the communication plan, you will include how you will behave when the risk will occur, who will you inform, how you will inform about it, when the issue will happen, what you will communicate, how, to whom, etc., etc. So all the aspects from the governance, from what we are discussing, will be part of the communication plan and the strategy as well.
Exactly. And Faruk is asking how to document it. Is it within the scope? So, for example, at the beginning, you are defining how you will behave when change is necessary. So, at the beginning of the project, you don't know that there will be a change in the future. right? So at the beginning of the project, you don't know that will be, but you are preparing for that activity.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like we're risk management. You don't know if the risk will happen, but you need to prepare. That's why you are project manager, to think that okay, everything is right now okay. The sun is shining, but it might happen that in the 2 weeks from now there will be a rain and the ice rain and something may happen. I need to prepare myself for this.
Exactly. So what are, Rafał, some of the most common misunderstandings or
Hello,
disconnects? Do you hear me?
hello,
Rafał is probably having a little bit
Marco, I
poor
lost you.
connection. Do you hear me, guys?
Hello.
Do you hear me and do you hear Rafał, guys? Okay, it's fine. Let us just
Hello.
we will. Okay, I hear you both. Rafał, we hear you now. Do you hear us? Good. We'll be just sorting out these technical issues.
Wait a second. I will just reconnect to
We hear
the
you.
session
Okay, Rafał will reconnect.
because I don't hear you at all and I don't see you at all.
Good. So rejoin. Good. So guys, also you can ask questions in the meantime while Rafał is joining. It was so. What is important in a project management? So in change management, so you prepare the context, the behavior when such change is needed, and then you analyze how big that change is, what is the impact on cost, on schedule, and you go to the same parts as for your project, and then you decide with your project sponsor, will you do it or not. And it is a complex big area, but everything is in preparation. So at the beginning of a project, you would prepare how to react on such changes. Please do ask questions. We still have 10 minutes, and we are waiting for Rafał to rejoin. So Sabine is asking, I'd like to know if Rafał collaborated with the non-profit sector as a project manager. Rafał, do you hear us? Are you back with us? Give me a second if I can. Okay, unlock mic. Unlock mic. Rafał, do you hear us?
I hear you well. Do you hear me right now?
Excellent. Yes. Others, do you hear Rafał? Do you hear Rafał?
It's still dropping. Probably there is some storm, but I can hear you well. I see that. Yeah, I see. Yes. Okay, so people.
That's how internet behaves in a province, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry for that.
Rafał, we have time for in the woods, exactly. Rafał, we have time for, let's say, several more questions, and Sabina is asking, I'd like to know if Rafał collaborated with the non-profit sector as a project manager. Did you have such experience?
Yeah, so this is basically my experience right now. PMI organization is a non-profit organization. So it's not that I'm a managing director of the company with a million budget for 2 annual spend. We are a non-profit organization, and as a project manager, I'm driving this organization in the way I will drive any other long-term project, basically. So this is my experience. We also connect with other PMI branches that are non-profit organization as well, or the volunteers, that works well, and we are using the PM methodologies and tools.
Exactly. We heard your answer, but poorly. But hopefully this will be a little bit better. What's now? Do you hear me now? Can you say how?
I hear you very good.
Okay, we have this choppy sound, but it's not too bad. Good. Now it's a little bit better. Rafał, before we end up, finish our conversation, I have a little bit silly question, and at the beginning, and, you know me, we definitely have silly topics to discuss about. But on our first talk, our colleague Michał Mokrzycki said that when he met a project manager first time in his career, being able to foresee things that will be happening in the future and when they will come, it actually appeared to him as a magic. So we spoke about governance, so to set up the rules, and then you have this magic factor of leadership and soft skills and to speak with the people. So when you think about such a people, a Mary Poppins coming to mind. So Mary Poppins was coming to a family with the problems, with no rules, with poor communication, and then she was setting these things up as they should be. So if you would say, was a Mary Poppins a good project manager? Is it just the rules, or you need a little bit magic in your project management?
I believe this is a mixture. You know, Mary Poppins she got a great experience. Yeah, so it was not a person from nowhere. She got a big experience how to work with kids and how to drive the home. Yeah, because she was managing the whole house, I would say. And for that, I would say she got a very, very strong project management skills. So even though that was not called as a setting up the governance and everything and the rules, she was doing it. So this is what we are doing in our daily lives. Although we don't know that it's called governance or right or something, we are all following some rules. We are setting the rules when we are getting married. You know, when we got kids, we are setting the rules as well. So this is a project management skill. So I would say that Mary Poppins was a brilliant project manager. And about this magic, I would say that sometimes it's required from us to be a magician to solve all the problems our sponsors and stakeholders have. But this magic comes with the experience as well. So after a few years in the industry, when you are driving, you know, dozens of projects and you survive somehow everything, less things will surprise you. And for the people from outside that are just joining your project organization, that may look like a magic, that you are just knowing what will be the future fuck up or whatever.
Exactly. Sometimes it's incredible when someone comes with this previous experience and with the right approach, that things that are being done are simply easy and go with the flow and natural and fun.
Yeah.
But for that, they said, I read the quote, "You don't pay me for 30 minutes of work. You pay me for 10 years of experience so that I can do the work in 30 minutes."
Exactly. That's the perfect conclusion of it.
Exactly. So, guys, we still have 3 minutes. Do you have some additional question?
Oh.
You see how time flies? Hour and a half. A magic.
It's a magic. It's like with project. So you are starting it and you don't realize when you are finishing it.
Exactly.
1 year later.
Good. Someone is typing. We will wait for the questions.
Oh.
It was amazing listening to Rafał and his perspective on the PM world. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Rafał, thank you. And next time I need to buy you better internet in Warsaw.
Yeah, I will bowl the third line, you know. That's my second line. Hopefully, it's better than the first one. Before the next interview, I will move to Katowice.
Agreed.
And we can meet face to face.
Agreed. Actually, that is what we will do after this COVID and so on. We will probably be sitting somewhere
so.
together, and then we will have for hopefully good cameras and lighting and things like
you
that.
Can come.
Exactly, guys. Let's give. Actually, what I will do, and I forgot again to do, and sorry for that. I would ask you if you can. Please just reply on. Okay, we have some technical difficulties. Do you hear me?
I hear you well.
Good, yes. Guys. So since I cannot show you that, please write us down what we could done better, please. So what we could done better, so that for the next time actually we do improve. So please write down what things can we do better. We still have
internet line on my side is already on the list.
Yes, that is. We will not assume that internet connection on anyone's side is good.
In Warsaw is good.
Exactly. So please do write what we could done better, so that we will be able to improve. Definitely. So definitely there is always a place for that.
Perfect. You know, Marco, is the next element for your discussion, lessons learned.
Definitely, there is, Rafał. Definitely, there is a lot more topics for us to discuss, and I guess that we will be simply also talking in the future again, covering many other topics.
That will be a pleasure.